everyone, I'm Dana Maybe and today I am ranking Red Velvet eras. First, I would like to know what you guys think about my new intro. Heart attack is gone sadly, but I absolutely love the vibes of this new intro. Big shout out to my good friend Stay With Carets for helping me make it. So, like my Twice Eras video, this ranking is a mix of my personal opinion and how others perceive the era in terms of iconicness and success. This is not a fully objective ranking, but it's not based on just my taste either. Leave if you can take other opinions than your own. So let's start. The thumbnail wasn't clickbait, Psycho is really last. But you know that Psycho is by far their worst era, if you can even call it one. Nothing wrong with the title track itself, it was nice, it probably wouldn't be one of my favorites anyway, but it was nice. The B-sides of the Reveille finale were very disappointing to me. But listen, you can already start typing a huge comment about how great Psycho is, but let's be real. How can you like this era when Wendy was in the hospital being heavily injured? This wasn't a planned hiatus like Hasso or Mina, this was a full-on tragic accident. Psycho had one OT5 and one OT4 stage. The OT4 stage is horrible, which is totally understandable because they didn't want to perform without Wendy. Joy seemed physically in distress and it really was just a very toxic situation. I think Psycho had the potential to be amongst their better comebacks, but we have to accept that this wasn't a thing and move on. This feels more like a subtitle, and if it was, it would be one of my favorites in K-pop in general. However, as an era on itself, this just wasn't it. The song didn't have a wow factor and the outfits were pretty, but there wasn't much variety. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it's a weak standalone era. If you've been on my channel for a longer time, you know how much I hate this song and era. I'm just going to quote what I have said about it before, but now with my own voice instead of the robot one. So for one, hate the screams. Second, hate the choreography. Third, which I actually didn't mention before, is that I also really hate the styling. There is one set of outfits that I really love, the one where Wendy and Seulgi both wear neon green, but the others were so awful. Other than that, the biggest problem still lies with the concept and timing of the comeback. The obvious delay in release made this flop in my eyes. A Halloween concept in December really isn't it. They should have waited until 2019 for either Halloween in spring kind of concept, which would be really cool, or actual Halloween 2019. The fact that this is a sequel to Bad Boy, which wasn't even a year ago, makes it even worse. This was a big commercial flop from SM. This era is so beautiful and honestly flawless. The only thing that makes us low is that I can't help but think about how sad the members were around this time, coping with so much hate and Wendy specifically with all the body shaming. Their emotions in the performances are so real that they almost seem too real. So, Rookie. I love the song, absolutely 100%, but the visuals were so damn ugly. The outfits most of the time were terrible, so ugly and not flattering at all, and what made it even worse were the lights and effects in the background in stages that also didn't match those ugly outfits. It was a mess. Also an unpopular opinion maybe, but short hair doesn't fit Joy and her outfits really did her dirty this era. There were some good outfits by the way, such as the purple ones and the ones with Yeri's red socks. I also feel like they themselves didn't even like this comeback, which we know is partly true, but you can tell by their energy on stage. Especially Irene and Seulgi look so over it. The song doesn't deserve the hate it gets, but the era wasn't it. I adore Dum Dum. I love that the song showcases their vocals well and that Yeri really got to shine this era. However, the problem with Dum Dum, in my opinion, is that I don't really understand the direction it tries to go in. I love the Michael Jackson rap, but it's a bit random if you look at the rest of the lyrics. I also love all of the stage outfits, but if you compare them to each other, there really isn't a theme. Kind of with everything in this era, I love all of it, but it doesn't really make much sense if you really start to analyze it. Oompa Oompa has a similar problem. Everything looks and sounds good, but not together. I think this yet again has to do with it being delayed. August 20th is a late date for a summer comeback. It does make sense that the outfits would get more September early fall vibes because of that, but it doesn't fit the song. They're wearing denim and 70s clothes with a summer background? It makes no sense. They also went for a city-like theme, which was cute, but didn't fit the summer beat song. I loved the album of Day 2, but the stages of Oompa Oompa were really off. I do have to say that Irene saved it with her improved stage presence though. Her smile this era was the cutest. I think Powerup is a very underrated era. I understand that coming as a follow-up to Red Flavor, this was underwhelming to some, but I actually prefer this era. The video game vibes in the song were so cute, and I also loved the color schemes in both their stages and the music video. For me, Wendy and Solgi were really owning this summer track. This comeback, as far as I've observed, wasn't popular amongst other Revelovs though, therefore low on the rankings. Listen, y'all can hate on Zimzalabim all you want, but looking back at it, was it really that bad? In my opinion, it was the best part of the Rev Festival series. Zimzalabim did what Rookie couldn't do. Zimzalabim was ugly, weird, and random, but it worked. In terms of concept, Zimzalabim was one of the best styling of all eras. Joy and Irene even actually looked good sometimes. Wendy's rug was a mistake, but other than that, I absolutely stan this era. A lot of fans dislike this era, which is understandable because it's not OT5. However, if you ignore that, you can't deny how great this era was. I remember the exact day they debuted and so many people threw hate at them because they would never top FX and were a low quality group, but look at how energetic and expressive they were from the start. Especially Joy and Irene really shined, and this is still one of my favorite eras for Irene. Their hairstyles were iconic, their outfits were iconic, not to even mention Wendy's Shine on Me. I understand that it sucks that Gary wasn't there, but we shouldn't sleep on happiness. I feel so ashamed for not getting into Automatic as soon as I started standing Red Velvet. Y'all need to acknowledge the masterpiece that this is. It's sensual and not overly sexy, it's powerful yet soft, the choreography is slow yet interesting to watch, everything was just right. The styling was beautiful and flattered all the members, and they literally invented blonde hair in this very moment. Unfortunately, the lack of impact that it had on K-pop fans is what puts this lower. This is my personal favorite. This is Red Velvet's best title track, especially of the Red concept. Sometimes the outfits in the stages were a little basic or plain, but other than that, this era has no flaws, in my opinion. Red Velvet's unofficial debut and therefore automatically iconic. When I started standing, this wasn't one of my favorites, but a couple months ago it really started to climb up my list. The rapping of Irene and Joy is probably my favorite rap of Red Velvet as a whole. My favorite part of the era are the outfits. I'm a sucker for the pastel aesthetic and high socks and skirts and just that overall 2015 Tumblr look. They pulled that off so well, especially with the blonde hair. I don't think this era has any negatives. In terms of internet popularity, I think this is one of their most successful comebacks to date. Joy in the rainbow dress who went viral, and especially after the other successful comebacks of the year, this was a perfect closing part. The song and concept are really good and the outfits match that very well. I also love their attitude and energy on stage. I think this is one of the few eras that suited all members equally well. It was at this point that Red Velvet invented the summer. The song, the energy, the choreography, the styling, everything was on point in this era. Especially Joy and Yeri really shined in this comeback. I have to admit it's not necessarily my favorite, but you cannot deny the power Red Flavor has and how this paved the way for literally every summer song that was released after this one. But we still have a number one, and you're probably not surprised. I just have one thing to say. Why do you guys like hating on popular things so much? Everyone agreed that this was the best and most successful point in their career until out of nowhere a hate bandwagon started. I asked on my Instagram why people dislike Bad Boy just because I was curious and I got no actual answer. It's okay to like popular songs. It doesn't make you a fake fan. There's a reason the song is as popular as it is because people like it. And no, you don't have to rush to the comments to write a paragraph about why you hate Bad Boy because of course someone out there really hates Bad Boy. I'm just saying you don't have to hate on something just because it's popular. Anyways, now onto why Bad Boy is the superior era in case y'all forgot. Simply everything about this era was flawless. It was cohesive and continuous in its theme, they all looked flawless and healthy always, and they genuinely seemed to all enjoy this era. The choreography was simple but they pulled it off so well, and even though the moves weren't necessarily memorable, everyone knows at least one move from the chorus. Don't lie, I know you do. Bad Boy kind of reinvented Girl Crush at that very moment and is in my opinion one of the most influential songs of the entire third generation. Bad Boy was on everyone's lips in 2018. No Red Velvet stan will forget that. It's not even like this is my personal favorite because like I said Russian Roulette is, but this is objectively their most iconic era to date. Don't at me. So that's it. Thanks for letting me educate you on the quality of Bad Boy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry for uploading on a very random date, but I will try my best to get back into a schedule again. I hope you all have a lovely day or a lovely night. Bye!